Welcome. You're on Nomad Radio. Okay? Nomad Dreamcast Radio. And I'm saying Nouan, your host. And we're just gonna go on a field trip of thoughts. These landscapes of mine, rivers of time that flow in a circle, cycles and seasons. Birds tweet on branches, status updates, societies and civilizations still driving them cars, going to self-propelled. Thinking and technology and live machines mixed in with transformers at the boost of it. It seems that time is synonymous with words and terms, considering spells at spelling bees for kids and their treats when they trick for $1. The wolves holler into night, shackled in their jewels and their diamonds. This vampire's rich with a red robe, a vesture of blood, insignia on his thigh. Diamonds and jewels, he raises cup. You just a new employee in human resources, and he looks like a nerd, but he's on the board of the council. What high school did you go to? You look new to me. I've never seen you before. Funny, what did you say your name was? And that's all that they'll ask you. The information you give will be enough to fact check different states and their cities. To get the information, it would seem we're all migrants in this country, aren't we? How many of us don't know the face of our neighbors? When's the last time you read the news in papers considering work and AI and centralized information? Media outlets have gone mainly to the internet because you could get TV now a la carte. Therefore, it's easier to push propaganda. Considering when people die, the narrative and exposure of its citizens, while people walk around with different information that's separate from the news, but about the news entirely different from the version of the story you got and read about, because you're not an insider. And the joke is on you though. In the winter breeze, a nigga move like Naruto. The Sherry gun is infinite. The 9 tails I don't know about. The truth is what I give while you give a fuck, and I know this. Thinking that you're hiding something, I'm only focused on your gestures trying to cover. It looks obvious, even though I don't know by deduction, and we underestimate our detectives with a nose and a hunch. Watch out for the bloodhounds. The wizards and the warlocks and your neighbors and them niggas in the city with that box of chicken on the corner selling drugs in a skull cap, looking very obvious even to driver-bys, but you get stopped while being parked for being black. You don't got many friends in a world full of hunters, propagandas and seasons, reasons and leanings and trainings of clones in your cities that got jobs you can't get. Raising up through the chapters and getting promoted ahead of you at work and does favors. Seems like she's a nice girl, bruh. You should take her on a date. You know she's from the black market. Think I'll have a mail order bride. We got nuclear bombs, but we can't stand up to Russia for its secrets, I bet you. And they got pretty faces, don't they? More deadly than drugs. Look at all these rich dudes that got all of this game that I don't got, and they white. Seems they got these tricks trained. Call them Jedis. And I'm like Vader. I'm looking suspicious, moving like a villain, cause I know what the truth is while you give a fuck, knowing that your sight on me like Ray in a scope is wrong. Speaking frequent, moving swift like a locust through a breeze. taking out the swarms, and you think I'm the bad guy when you regulated by Beelzebub. Those voices in your head. These choices make you defile yourself for the bread. Many niggas went moistest. Who's the Duncan Hines? Got a new assistant, wife working at home, late hours. No one would suspect these perverted undertones. Just being a secretary. It's the middle of February and you feeling more obligated than you're feeling horny. It's a spirit. Conversations with my girl seem calculated, seem like she got an agenda. Damn, who is she working for? The streets or the corporations in the black market? Which one of the 13 families in the Illuminati has purchased her? I'm from a different fucking set, bruh. Even enslaved, I can't be domesticated. Killer well. I'm sad cause my trainer always stays out of the water where I can get her. Still smiling. Free Willy. It's been a long day. Where is my girlfriend? Wish that I had one, even though these niggas got them. Somehow, they don't fuck with that. But they put on a show in public, don't they? Miserable together, get around happier individuals, and they somehow show public signs of affection for reassurance. But I'm just sitting there with my fucking arms folded. Like a heavy metal band born in Armageddon with a sweatband on like I'm from the 80s. Understand? These are the things that I'm talking about. Recording these videos right now, I got an incoming call. It's probably my mom. She's probably stopping by. With these spirits, some spirits are always inconsistent and inconvenient. Only consistently forever. No matter what you tell them, they don't listen, cause they're not really there as you remembered. Ghost of Christmas past, but a legend. Call me Scrooge. By humbug. Half Jamaican in conversation, you understand what I'm saying. I'd rather be at the beach. Wondering who's trying to come to my house at this time. Of all the times that I haven't had time to do anything for myself, in the time that I do, I get interrupted. Sitting here singing my rants and my problems, I suppose, about civilization that's somehow social even though they live in cognitive dissonance. Standing on an altar of earth where the blood heavily runs down from its victims, the saints and the martyrs. Speaking out knowledge they don't know about. Apple with a bite mark out. Reader's Digest polluting your mind with the knowledge of men without the truth of God, wondering where you came from, even though they've been around for a long time. Some of these niggas live longer than you would think and still up on the earth like a old stiff unwashed sock, bruh. Just leaning and lurking amongst zombies and vampires and werewolves and Dracos. I'm sitting there of bones and blood and dirt. In spirit, a child of God, a Nephilim born of earth. Many things come from the earth. I was thinking on my walk home. Weed is a crop and all these medicinal herbs that turns into synthetic medicines. If these things could be gods, because that's what comes out of you, are the crops and the spirit or the fruit of your mind. What type of fruits are these? These fruits are earth-born, which is the definition of Nephilim, and your thoughts. When you do certain activities, sniff up a line, smoke a little tuka, and now you thinking different and your words is moving smoother. Maybe you in the spirit. And people try to keep that away from you, even though you sit there and you kick out Mozart with few words. You break down entire environments and still they sit there like they can't say shit. But in America, you could say what you want, even though you can't. And I'm sitting there like a sore thumb, waiting for a sucker to find out I'm not one. People hear me crying out like John from the wilderness. You didn't know the cry was gonna be a battle cry for you guys to survive, not knowing the might of God. It's better I turn the other cheek than letting you think that you got away showing love by giving you the truth of how I could see. Leaving you in your ignorance. In your pride, you think a coward. But breaking before the truth, cognitive dissonance, knocking the spirit right out of you. Severing you from your power. No sticks and no stones, just the words of my mouth. Fire in my lungs. Eyes like brake lights. Smile like a vampire. Gentle like a dove, bruh. Who are you to judge me? And who am I anyway? Even with your AI, it's possible you don't know enough like myself. Careful with your lies. I'm a nigga that will hold you accountable. But believe every word. If you do not survive yourself, then I guess he was swallowed in the undertow, brought out into the ocean, and no one could save him anymore. Unless he gets delivered by God himself. That's what I'm bringing. I told you people in heavy metal ministry that the Bible's heavy metal, all these flowery doctrines and lessons in scripture, and I listen to other Christian brothers talk about things so lofty, not understanding the gravity, and I look at the Goths and they seem to have a little bit better understanding, though it's mixed with so much shit I just can't get with. My words are austere, though sometimes I come with personality. Nah, God's word is heavy metal. People in there reading fairy tales, things we should not take heed to. But considering perception of the mind, reading a story, would we see the same things? If we have cognitive dissonance, what is trauma, MK Ultra, electroshock therapy? Where does it come from? It seems so alien. Thinking you know something from grade school, but you don't. How much do you remember from it anyway? But without that shit, you can't get a job. These are the things that I think about when I sit here. When I get a moment to express myself, I express myself. And in all of these things, whether liked or disliked, just know I'm still a real Christian. And this Christian is kind of heavy metal, loaded with slams, something for everyone. Not the square that you thought of. Darker than you goth niggas. Bright like a dove, it's demonic. My peace is not violent. The truth is, I don't lie to you, and all you give is fucks. Though you have knowledge. So careless in your postures. Niggas thought it was fresh and they died. Hip hop niggas could never be so Cinderella in the industry, changing they mind up, going through traumas, gaslights of all of those vipers, and they're in there, a pit of them, wanting to be used as a frontman for social issues and movements. In the calamities of their life, they get exposure more than they even wanted, and then they survive, pushing the propaganda in order for reduced sentences and otherwise, while money's being made off them. Don't you think it's interesting that even music celebrities have to market their life, that they never get to be themselves anywhere they go. They couldn't be more enslaved than a nigga in jail, could they? Imagine the cubicles in the earth and all those human resource slaves working at that job, typing on a computer, getting carpal tunnel. That's what I forgot that word. Getting carpal tunnel, medical health benefits, dentist shit, and life insurance for their family. Battle of the sexes, bipartisan calamity, conversation with their kids, history class bringing up social issues, and the mother and father have different perceptions, divide up the nuclear family on different issues like abortion and otherwise. Collide them together, and if there's a movement, infiltrate it and cause violence to subvert it into submission and break it apart. You see, it all fits together, doesn't it? The way my words come together, you would think that it's The Witch, Divergent. It's a movie where this chick has superpowers, it would seem, although she does normal things. But I'm no witch, it's just the Holy Spirit. Raining down wisdom, I'm just speaking to you here. I'm not really trying. None of my words hit the ground. Move through your brain like a Xerox or a scanner, printing different levels of words, creating a picture. And I don't need 1,000. Crossing landscapes of minds like treetops. Trunks and sword, running over the hills. Dragon Ball Z. Skywalker. How can the good guy get made into Vader even though there's no good guys? I'm not a bad one. Let me be clear. If you want to get technical. Some move electrical logic, magnetism, spiritual abilities on an electromagnetic grid. Your central nervous system like an antenna, creating jolts of electricity, passing information to different limbs. If the brain ever stopped working, everything could be about you could be the same. If your brain was working in Delta, everything about you could be the same. Except everything about you would be different. Out of your 5 senses. I suppose that's the interest of the 5 points on that star that they use in the Eastern Star. You can be tricked in your perception, dependent on your mind. Consider the recall of the clones that was out in society during this time where the crows wake you up. Promotion of better health. Chips or smart dust inside of people's brains. controlling the way they read or walk. If you're an organism that don't have the spiritual part down in the relationship you see, knowing the truth, you would just move like seaweed under the water. Many can see, read, but don't discern none, nor use critical thought, so they take their medicine and is poison. Staggering thoughts bring staggering walks, knowing they don't think that often. Haven't challenged their mind since high school. Even the information you look up, you have to look up if it's right. Niggas on the left-hand path, I suppose they don't wonder at all. This is St. Nouan podcast. I'm gonna close this up right here. I say thanks for hanging out for this field trip. Peace and blessings to you all. This is Nomac Radio 6. Yo, what up? This is Nomac Radio Dreamcast, hosted by St. Nouan. And I just want to continue on field trips pertaining to targeting. It can be broken down by the coincidences that seem random. So it seems, except it happens all the time. How many chances have you got? And does that supersede the quantity of your opportunities? Seems you always seem to be on a darker path somehow, the better that you choose here. Living in this cube. Idris in the movie regarding this temp in the film Obsessed kept running into issues with her forcing herself onto him. And everyone seemed to be involved also. Going beyond the script, that which is more occult, you could see the way his wife acts and realizes that she's in on it too. But that's not supposed to be the perception of the viewer. That he's the one on the outside wearing the shoes of Idris. Talking to human resources and managers and partners in the law firm. And they all seem to be protecting the temp, gaslighting him and making him feel crazy or childish. His wife turned in on him over the accusation. Trying to keep together his marriage with a child, considering the circumstances that seem obvious. It's obvious we're living on a script, and if you're not on the inside, you're the sacrifice. All of society shares a common goal. Considering the chapters, politicians, and bills that pass through legislation, how much witchcraft called a spirit that needed sacrifice to implement into the minds of the people to enforce its principles. How much blood does it require? Candle wax dripping down. White gown of a saint, it's a candle, his face aflame. Wielding a sphere of light like a whale. Chakras and UFOs, anti-gravitational devices, it's a spirit. Halos to hellos, common ideas, breakfast room tables, conversations that you have with your neighbor regarding the weather, and that news article being in part of your town. Everyone seems to just go along with the narrative, even though it should sound false, even though it don't. Perception and spoon-fed knowledge, bringing forth the weight of education. And education and speculation may only be just enough for an individual to survive in this world. Why is civilization like a wilderness? People get torn up. How many sacrifices does it take to move up? Who is the same as when they started? It seems like you have to do more for the offer. What is Hollywood? And does her fingers have crystals? Crystal balls. Many characters in the picture of her city where blood drips. Nike Cortezes. Red or blue. Three-dimensional urban street grid politics in they pockets. Lifting up ledgers, talking to they boys behind bars. doing hymns like niggas in the field, my ancestors, yo. Passing by, what's the business? A city of witnesses with Uber drivers. Shit getting done. Living off the faith and lifting up their family also. Neighborhood watch. These things that we witness, though be physical and existential, be spiritual with insight. When you understand the principles of what each person represents and their morals. In dispute. Angels without a chorus, C-SPAN and the news. How many murders and violent crimes are sensationalized on your 6 o'clock? What are the articles that they seem to present, and is it propaganda? Just some shit for your mind. Rhetoric. These words slap like the truth austere. Metaphysical. From my bosom there comes fire. I'm speaking out. In my country as a hostage, speaking on freedom. My nigga, what's your sign? He said. Scratching at the temple, I said, I think a Taurus. What does it matter? Many interesting people with interesting knowledge. I wonder how they memorize it all. Or do they gotta do certain things and seances and tricks and under tables and sneaky little things between feet? Secretaries, good reputations amongst all. You the only one with a problem. It seems society is an organism like the stock market. Unpredictable is the flesh. 666 protons, neutrons, and electrons forming carbonite. Sitting in classrooms, our computers getting programs. And the way that we walk. Very military, how you use your individuality just through 12 years of school. Then you go to college and you're stuck inside a wheel. And that will is not your own, so you be in bondage. Pyramid on the back of $1. Slamming niggas like Saul Williams. Mind over money and over matter, but all that matters is that God is over all. Which spirits you tap into, your gifts and your talents, your knowledge and your wisdom and your experience also ain't enough to deal with what I got. Knowing I'm a servant is understanding of our relationship. You see in yours, you are God's. That's impossible. Tie one penny at a time. Isn't it interesting that you're slaves to your servants, aren't you? If you do certain things, you can lose them. You see, mine has an open mind that blesses, says, come as you are. Sit down. Communion at the table, you see, sanctified on the vine. What supersedes the natural is the spiritual, and you see, most people don't see even the natural symptoms of a cause. They only seek to solve the problem, not the source. That's the money market that we live in. Big Pharma on the corner, still the same as every drug dealer, but you judge one, don't you? Even though some felons don't get second chances, nigga. This is the shit that I'm talking about. The way society is set up together. Disagreements seem to match the seasons of the weather, calculating in zodiac signs. Nothing new under the sun. The same genetic structure as your parents carried out over and over like a Xerox copy, thinking that you special. Older spirits know that you're not. Here's a penny for your silence. Having a life, but not having a life at all. That life being owned by others. And your life ends up owned just so that you can eat. Not all hunters are the same. I got no ulterior motives. Still a sheep. Peculiar by my spirit and my soul. Not my psychology or anything else that people would take me for. I'm blessed by my covering, told I'm called by words. It's in the Bible. And we don't know the Jews? Covered up by the truth? Of course not, because niggas would hear it, wouldn't they? Even though they don't have ears of corn. Working in the field in a slave shop. Next time I get off of this factory, I'ma go eat with my girl, yo. Understand the things that I'm saying. I'm just not saying them. Even though it sounds like I'm rhyming or rapping or doing poems, I'm just talking to you niggas right now out of my heart. It's like a blessed form of Tourette's, cause the truth is austere. You got him holding a sheet with a teardrop. No horror movies was never made on the truth, and nothing scarier than that except God. Funny thing is, nobody's ever seen them, have they? and he don't come knocking? But at the time he calls, you'll come, won't you? And you'll be on time. Isn't that awesome? And isn't that humbling? If I was created before I could be a slave and be owned, I was created. Therefore, there goes obligations. No matter what I would do, I'd give it to my creator. Naturally, because he made me, therefore this opportunity of which he did not ask for anything except take care of yourself and be respectful to others and don't forget me. That's the first thing they did. Mystery schools, Egyptology, and all that other shit, they got lost in the sauce. Doing sorcery, fucking with the gods, and then got fucked up. Their halo is crowded with thorns, isn't it? Piercing thoughts and perceptions in different environments like offices where people have different beliefs and they sit together, along with conversations that are awkward about politics. Considering Idris Elba in the movie Obsessed, you see everyone was in on it, even his wife. His spiritual battle with himself and his spiritual battle with the spirit that was in the world. Two couldn't be any more different. One took the punishment, though he was innocent, of course, and nobody cares, but needs everything from him. Fronting like you know him. Them other countries could see how America is. You were no shogun. Living conditions. People are gifted with slothfulness and laziness. They just sit in they lazy boy, watching TV. Empty calories and vague tips that they read on their app. Nothing in mind. Buying food, sitting, eating, shitting, cooning, doing nothing but holding your dick, fronting like you made it. Knowing you collecting a check from some shit that ain't quite right, is it? But everyone does it. So you play along and don't think at all, in a constant state of amusement, because amuse means without thought. Sitting like a zombie at high class dinners with hors d'oeuvres in a nice suit. Laughing along to some shit you wasn't even listening to. Your head is about as peaceful as a Metallica concert. High off Pop Smoke. Crystal rock. The heart of God is comprised with crystals of different colors. The sky, aurora borealis, with lightning crawling along it. You levitate up a long row of crystals and stars and steps that are white. You don't see any figures, you just hear their voices. They're the angels, the gatekeepers. Right next to that, a golden tunnel with light passing through it and a waterfall on the other end, you see. That leads you back to Earth. Most of us is probably Nephilims for sure, knowing that Nephilim also means earth-born. If you came from the earth, haven't gotten baptized and given your life to God for the Holy Spirit to become in and you to be born of the Spirit, then you would be closer to a Nephilim, as the new birth or the real birth is your spiritual birth, where you get blessed with consciousness. You think on many things and those around you don't think at all. They just think the things that the rest of the hive said. They're just a bunch of locusts with wings that get in the way and they tear up the harvest of God. Thank God you're a wheat, bro. That's all that they do. They try to make their failures look cool. We don't laugh. That's gonna cost us. Understand what I'm saying? So this field trip, I don't know. It's just Nomad Radio, Dreamcast, all right? Peace and blessings with you all. All praises to the Most High. I'm out.